Alright, thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko Live Streaming. This is Atsushi. I love the Sashiko stitching as always. Please let me know if you do not hear this. I think, well, that you cannot hear. You cannot let me know if you're not hearing this. Anyway, so the same thing. I am working on this big, large piece of denim fabric as the winter partition. The partition for the winter. I'll keep stitching. Whew. Hello. よっこいしょちょっと。よいしょ、ちょっと待ってね。OK。Good morning. It must be pretty early in your place. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you're doing okay there. Happy Independence Day tomorrow. So happy 4th of July. 4th of July weekend. I wish I could do a little longer today since my wife is taking a day off from the work. She can watch my kid, but I have to cut the lawn. I think that's what people do in the 4th of July weekend, right? Cutting the lawn, mowing the lawn. Lisa, Nana is here. If you have any questions, I'm happy to translate for you. That's kind of a sudden request, but I can be a translator if you have any specific questions or any request or any comments is fine too. I know you're a fan of her. Nana さんの日本 I'll switch to Japanese. ナナさんのファンの方がいらっしゃるので、リサさんがナナさんのファンです。リサさんがナナさんのファンなってるね。Hello. Thank you for coming. It's really nice to have someone like somebody else, Sashiko stitching, among the people I share my Sashiko. That's really nice. I like it a lot. I have too many questions for her. I follow her posts so carefully. Thanks for her work. 訳します。I'll translate that. 質問なんかあったら日本語に訳すよ。7歳の質問なんかあったら訳すよって今書いたんですけど、いっぱいありすぎて何言っていいか分かんないけど、いつも作品作ってくれて差し越してくれてありがとうって書いてありますね。7さんも自分でちょっと訳してみて。自分で訳してみてっていう投げやりすぎてごめん。So that's a kind of beautiful part of this live streaming. I hope, not a hope. It is very good that we can communicate over the internet, over the live streaming, over the SNS. That one Japanese is stitching Sashiko the way the very old, not old, but the naturally, not naturally. Let me rephrase that. It's very good that we can communicate over the language, over the countries, and that's something I can offer by sharing the exactly same technique. I shared exactly same technique, not even technique. I shared exactly same Sashiko to the Japanese people over the internet, and also the people across the world who can speak English, either in person or online. So it's very good that they can, communicate. It's very good, I guess. It's very nice things to do, and there's no such a thing as the right and wrong Sashiko. That's my message. And for that, some people like my stitching, some people like my mother's Sashiko, and some people like the other students' Sashiko stitching, and that's so good. I like that. It is the kind of the community I would like to make. So once one learned how to do the unshin, the Sashiko stitching I'm doing right now, it's really up to the creativity of each individuals. So one may get inspired by my stitching, and probably you will become somebody's fan or somebody's stitching. That's what I mean by I want you to create. I want you to have your own stitches. Those who took my workshop either in Japan or in the US or anywhere, actually in English, they have created their own stitches already, so that is very nice. I told you I'll translate, but I think we have a Google Translate, so if you have any questions, let me know. I think Lisa and Nanas are communicating very well. Whew, that's really beautiful. I think I like it. And they will forget me. That's the beauty. That's the way to go. Yeah, you use. Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. Thank you. It's incredible to make a friend across the ocean, sharing with one same passion. That's so beautiful. I will probably do a little bit of denim after this, and then Nana-san への質問 I'll translate that just in case. Do you 違うわ Do you だと英語じゃん Do you put a lining in the bag you make? これ俺が答え知ってるけど、ナナさんバッグ作るときに接着芯入れられますかっていう質問です。多分合ってると思う。もしくは裏布のおすすめとか聞いてるのかな。Do you mean by like interface or lining, like on the back fabric? ちょっと新しい試みだけどちょっと無理あるかや。裏面に接着芯貼ってるよね。了解です。ありがとうございます。So as long as I know and as long as I can read her answer, she put the interfacing on the back of the Sashiko stitching. Then I think she put the lining, the back fabric. So it'll be 3 layers. And Sashiko stitches itself will make the fabric stronger. And the interface and also the back fabric, it will make the fabric of the back much more stronger. So that's how I make it too. That's the reason I put the interfacing in the workshop material. Yeah, so I believe you received the indigo fabric and then interfacing and then like a little, not a little, thin cotton poplin paper, not a paper, cotton poplin fabric. So that's how I do that, and that's how probably what, that's how Nana do that. That's that too. Hello. It's really good to have the interface when you finish to something else. Okay. これはもうこれでよかろうかな。Oh, okay. Like you can put anything. You can put any kind of back fabric. It doesn't have to be solid. You can put any nice, any good fabric, any fabric you want. But she usually put, we usually put the interface in between those. So, あー、割れるな、糸が。It's a long way to go. It's a long way to go. I'll do little by little every day, every week. So I will put as many patterns on this. It's like 2 meters, 3 meters square. So it's quite big. It's very bulky. So I don't know how long it's gonna take, but you know, we gotta do what we gotta do. And next is this, the denim. This one is also adding a little by little. So with following this, I will keep adding those circle lines. I have to make sure the balance too, though. Probably here. Ah, I may have some allergy on something. Every morning I get some sneezing and. Yes, but the whole purpose of this live streaming is to create the community where people can feel like the existence. One of the biggest reasons I started sharing Sashiko is to make a kind of good friend who can share the same idea of Sashiko and same passion about Sashiko. So this live streaming is one of those, how can I say that, one of those opportunities that I can have to share the passion as well as the time with the other people who enjoy Sashiko. Workshop or in online class is pretty much the place where I can share what I do in terms of, in the form of teaching. Here you can learn from me stitching at the same time as I want to use this opportunity to you know, have a place for everybody to join with talking or with sharing what they feel. It's like a community, like small community where we have Sashiko in common. That's really good to have, I guess. And it is kind of difficult to have it in English, especially in the morning, because it's, you know, it's not the best time for everybody to join. But I think what is important is to, what matters is to keep offering that. And any comments are very appreciated. Although I do not teach Sashiko in the live streaming, but any kinds of comments are appreciated. I think I will be able to elaborate the conversation based on the question I receive. So, excuse me. Ay ay. Ay ay. もう一回ごめん。もう一回。Thank you. Gosh. What is wrong with me? Somebody's talking to me. Somebody's not talking to me. Somebody's talking about me. That's how the Japanese believes. You sneeze when somebody's talking about you. Behind your back or someone you don't know. Sorry about that. Ah. Oh my gosh, my nose are kind of weird today. Oh, it's kind of small talk. But yesterday I had a pretty good experience with the media person, journalist. I usually am not a big fan of so-called media, or I don't have like a specific view of journalist, but sometimes the media already decide what they want to write. They try to get the information around that conclusion. So sometimes it is not important what I speak, rather than it is important who provide the information, and they try to get that information to validate their articles or content. So I have had those experiences before, and I'm not saying all the medias are bad or doing that, but I didn't have the best experience. Among a lot of good experience, I had a sad experience as well. So I become defensive when I receive the request from journalist or interviewer to learn about what I do, Sashiko. But yesterday I had a pretty good time. I had a really good time actually. She was very open-minded to listen to what I was saying. I believe that what I spoke about was quite different from what she was expecting to hear. But she did not interrupt what I was saying, and she did not direct me to say something that I don't think like. So I think it was a very good time. If every interviewers are like her, I wouldn't be scared or defensive to the media, but it was a very good time. There are a lot of articles about Sashiko now online. They're saying what they want to say, and it's perfectly fine. It's freedom of speech. They can say whatever they want, but some of the articles speak on behalf of Japanese, which no Japanese are kind of involved. So I kind of wonder what their message is about. Sashiko became famous for the visible mending, I think. It's my understanding. But Sashiko's origin is not for the visible mending. In fact, it is actually for invisible mending. But they couldn't make it completely invisible. That's why it's sort of visible yet invisible. Without knowing that, it's kind of sad, in my opinion, to develop the argument. Again, it is not good or bad. I mean, we try to know what we can know. We try to learn from the materials we can always get. So, not knowing is perfectly fine. I'm not gonna get upset or get frustrated by people not knowing it. I have a lot of things that I don't know. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing to be blamed or ashamed of. But defining something or deciding something that it doesn't belong to you on behalf of the people who lives there, who has a story behind it, without trying to learn or trying to even listen to, is quite sad. It's not even angry, it's just sad. Some people say that I should be upset, but it's just sad for me. So yesterday's interview was very good. I was very scared for that matter, because I could have had another bad experience, and I was so scared of that. Therefore, I kind of gave her the precautions that I might not be able to talk what she wants me to talk. And she said that was okay, that's okay. And, and she was really okay with that too. So that was very good. I don't know if it's gonna be an article or published, or I don't know what's gonna be. It's gonna be on media. It's gonna be on the internet. Not internet media, so. But I hope more bigger media try to listen to the people behind the word instead of just a trend. Am I asking too much? Probably so. So that was a good experience. Wow, it has been 30 minutes already? No, it's 20 minutes, right? God, the time passes so fast. I hope what I share here as the unshin, how to move the needle, will make a significant difference in your Sashiko experience, I used to think that the thread is the key to make a difference, like good stitches and bad stitches. I don't think there's any bad stitches, but the stitches looks like a good Sashiko. The thread for Sashiko itself will make a very big deal of it, and I still believe that. I mean, that's why I keep saying thread matters. Thread is one of the key to make a successful, beautiful Sashiko stitching, and I have not changed that opinion. But at the same time, I stood feeling like this needle movement might be one of those which could determine the Sashiko stitching result. The Sashiko stitching people do with one stitch by one stitch looks a little pockily. How do you spell pockily? Like a little pock. It looks like it's kind of above, not above, floating on the fabric. Pockily. So I thought that was because of the thread, but it might be because of the way to make Sashiko stitches. I still don't know it because I really don't make the Sashiko stitches with one by one stitches, and I don't think I would like to do that too. Puckered. Thank you. Puckered. Thank you. That's it. So like the things I stitch, like look at this. This well, I'll show. Just a second. So this looks like this pattern. It is stitched, but from far it looks like it's kind of drawing too. Of course, if you touch it, of course, if you get closer to that, it is easy to tell that it's stitched. But for some reason, among few samples I've seen in this couple of weeks, the stitches Sashiko with one stitch by one stitch looks like a little more puckered than the stitches I make or the other people make after my workshop. So there might be some elements. There might be some elements to that, and I don't know what yet. But it's a nice hypothesis. Hypothesis to think about what Sashiko is. What was I doing? Oh, there we go. Probably not. Probably one stitch by one stitch they don't do itokoki. But at the same times, if you do one stitch by one stitch, you need itokoki every time. I mean, they're doing that, smoothing the fabric pretty much every single time. The smoothing the fabric, the process of itokoki is necessary because you're making a lot of stitches, so that this thread and fabric will not be bunched up. So when we make one stitch by one stitch, technically speaking, we do not need that. So I don't know. It's really the hypothesis. So there might be because of this running stitch, or there might not be because of that. But for some reason, and it's not. I'm not talking the pucker that stitches are bad. It's all about the preference, so there's nothing wrong with that. But my point is, it's good to know what I'm doing too. I usually teach this running stitch to with focusing on the process, how to enjoy Sashiko. But if there's any like significant change in result, that's also a good stuff that I can share. Well, there are a lot of things I don't know yet. Okay, wow, not okay yet. It's only 30 minutes. I don't like the curve. I really don't like the curve. I knew it, but I still don't like it. So, sorry. After this much stitching, after this much thread, I will go back to the running stitch again. I wanna feel a little bit of rhythm today before I go to my yard to cut my loads. So I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna do the cut the lawn. I don't wanna do that. I mean, it's fun to do the yard work, but it's just too hot to do it right now today. But it's time to do it too. That's the feeling, like every neighbors are doing it already, or has done it already. But our house is the last one, which has a lot of tall glass. That's kind of a very Japanese thing. Like, it's very shameful to be in that situation, embarrassing. So I was waiting until my actual right next neighbor have done that, and he did it like last night after it gets dark. So I'm kind of shocked that I have to do it today. I realized it this morning. So well. I feel I'm Japanese even here too. I don't know if many people feel ashamed about it, but I do. It's a regular Friday. It's a regular Friday that we will have a holiday tomorrow, so got a lot of things to do. The good thing about Sashiko is that we can do it. We can enjoy Sashiko stitching while thinking about something else completely different. I know. Thank you so much for the comments, Susie. I know. I rather do Sashiko whole day rather than the mowing lawn, but yep. I'm there with you. I am there with you. But somebody gotta do that. I think this is going quite well. I did not plan anything here. But I don't know when to stop. I have to decide when to stop because I don't want to make it too bulky. But this is yin-yang shape, inspired by. Let's see how this kind of flow goes. No patterns, no nothing, just kind of free writing for that. Let's see how it goes though. Probably I should use the other colors too. Okay, this is something I gotta do again next week. Oops, just a second. Okay, I'll do one more line, one more thread of stitching, and then today is done for that. Let's I plan to make another video on YouTube, but it is also taking some time, long time to do that. Hi, so much things to do, so many. First of all, no summer camps, no summer schools are kind of crazy. I hope the school will restart soon, but I don't know about that too. I mean, I love spending time with my daughter, and it's, you know, my privilege to do that, but it is a little bit, how can I say that? It's not even too much, it's just busy. It's very busy, it's very time consuming to do that. And if she loves Sashiko, that would be the best thing, but for her, needle is not something to stitch. Needle is just kind of weapon, so I gotta be careful. She has some other preference. I don't want to force her to do it because that's how I hated Sashiko. So a lot of elements going on together. Ideally, if I can do live streaming, or even if I can do stitching with her, with watching TV or whatever, that is super good, but life isn't that easy. I try to, well, she enjoys stitching with the dull needle for now, so that's good. Well, at least that's good. Did I see flies? Ooh. Where are you from? So bulky. So when you choose the bulky fabric, make sure that you know how to turn the fabric. We do not turn ourselves based on the direction we go. It sounds pretty natural, pretty normal. You may say, what is he talking about? Of course we do, you know, change the angle of the fabric. We rotate the fabric instead of us. Some people actually try to rotate themselves, and that's, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a little too much work. So make sure that you know how to rotate the fabric too. It is very interesting to learn what is the things I know as the natural things to do, and that's something not common in the different culture. That's how I built my workshop as well. It was not that easy to, the first step was to understand what is the things I know as the nature, not a very common thing, yet the people would like to know. So pretty much everything I do right now is very common for me. when they wanted to learn, I was worrying that if I may be providing the very boring materials. I really thought that people knew this kind of things already. Well, it's my, unique environment, but I didn't have any comparison before. Okay, 43 minutes, so I'll go offline soon. Thank you so much for watching today's live streaming again. I will come back next Friday around 9 a.m. Eastern time. I know it's not the best time, but this is the easiest time for me to make time while being a father, stay-at-home father. So I will finish it here, I guess, because this is the end of stitching. Do I have anywhere else to go? Let's see, do I have anywhere else to go? I could go there. Nah. I'll do it next time. So the result is like this. What I'm doing right now is to doubling this. It's really bad. Doubling this line. It was one line before, but now I'm just doubling it. And I may add another layer too, but I'll see. I'll see what I can do. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and have a great 4th of July weekend. I'll see you next Friday. Thank you. ありがとうございました。まだ機械油が取れてないんですけど、機械油を取りに行ってこようと思います。ありがとうございました。バイバイ。